Hi everyone, Jason here from the Millie PM2 Para 3 Club, and I wanted to talk to you about a knife that is not a Millie, not a PM2, and not a P3. This is a Vero Engineering Synapse. This is Joseph Vero's second knife since starting his company Vero Engineering. Joseph started with a larger design called the Impulse. He did a limited run, I believe, of 100 pieces, and they sold out, they pre-sold, and as soon as they hit the market, they were extremely well received and actually appreciated in value. They're quite hard to get. Since this knife was ordered in February, I've been trying to seek out one of the older models, and I'm not having an easy time getting one. Thankfully, Joseph decided to re-release the Impulse as a Gen 2, and those are coming soon. So I'm super excited to have a complete set of Vero Engineering knives. I just got this in the mail today, and I haven't had a ton of time with it, but I wanted to talk about some things that are top of mind since I got it in the mail. To start with, the knife came with G10 scales, and the G10 is very well done. They look very, very nice. At the time I ordered it, I had my option of 3 G10 colors. I could go with black, I could go with red, or I could go with blue. You're also able to purchase additional scales, giving you the ability to customize your own knife, which is a really neat feature. There's also a Micarta option available, and there's 2 different carbon fiber options. So lots of different choices. And I'm forgetting one. There's actually a 3rd option on the carbon fiber that's a black and orange swirl that looks really, really cool. So I am a big fan of customizing knives. I like getting a knife and making it my own. So being able to adjust these little things really brings me a lot of joy, and I'm very happy that Joseph thought to incorporate that into his design. Now, Joseph is a engineer by trade. He's a design engineer. He calls himself a knife enthusiast, which is a nice term that I call myself when I don't look in the mirror and realize that I'm actually kind of hopelessly addicted to this. But I'm not going to go off topic right now. Because he's a design engineer, there's lots of thoughtful things in this knife that really make sense that I think sometimes are overlooked by somebody who's a knife maker without the design engineering aspect. For example, this is a 3.2-inch back flipper. And I'm sure lots of you have handled 3-inch flipper knives of every different size and shape and style out there under the sun. This is an incredibly popular blade size, and it's a very packed, how can I say this? The market is full of examples of knives in this size. So there, you really have a bevy of things to choose from. What I've noticed on a great deal of them is they're so interested in making the knife small that it starts to suffer in things like grip and ability to hold the knife. Also, they suffer a lot in the way that the knife actually interfaces with the back of your hand when you're getting ready to flip it. And what really makes me happy on this Vero is that it really does nest nicely in your hand without adding an absurd amount of jimping. We just have this nice simple angle that's very comfortable in the palm of my hand. It allows me to hold the knife exactly where I want to hold it and then flick it open with no trouble. The knife runs on bearings, so it feels very, very smooth. The centering is excellent because it's been very dialed in from the factory. Even left-handed, which all of you know by now I'm left-handed, it works very, very well as a lefty knife. Really no trouble at all flipping it open. When you go to close it, you can do that nice little wiggle drop that everybody wants to have in their knife. The detent is there, but it's not too much. It's a nice amount of detent. So the knife is firmly closed. I really wouldn't worry about it opening in my pocket. But at the same time, I'm not having to overcome a speed bump worth of detent. So if I think about other knives I've owned in the past that have had a much harsher detent, I'm thinking primarily of Chris Reeve knives and zero tolerance. So I would say that this knife is a little bit smoother. It is a frame lock. Technically this is a frame lock, but another term I've heard for this type of frame lock is a bolster lock. So this is the bolster of the knife. The frame lock goes underneath the scale. So there's a really interesting little design here where the liner, effectively on this it's a liner, right? So that liner frame lock comes up here. It becomes a frame lock there. And when the knife is opened, falls into place, we have a liner inside the lock mechanism. That stainless steel piece in there is where the interface between the blade and the lock goes. So that means there's no lock stick, and there's also no lock rock. There's a lot of knives on the market right now that have lock rock, and manufacturers sometimes don't have a recourse for that, but these are very dialed in. The pocket clip is very thoughtfully designed as well. There's a screw that goes from here all the way through the knife into the clip, which I like because now we don't have a screw head coming through the clip, but also it really ties the whole back of the knife together. So we have both of the titanium pieces, we have the center backspacer, and then we have the two scales, and then finally the clip, and they're all sandwiched together with one nice screw. There is a second screw inside the knife that goes into the clip from the inside. So the clip is very, 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 very sturdy. It's going to stay on the knife. You really don't have to worry about it falling off or coming loose. The clip has a strain reliever right here. You can see inside the clip. That strain reliever gives the clip just enough springiness that it's not too mean. But given the thickness of this clip, I really think you'd have a hard time bending it. I know for myself, the way I tend to kill my clips is I will walk past the counter in my kitchen and I will catch the corner of my counter with my pocket clip on my knife. And when that happens, it just tends to tear up the clip pretty bad. I really don't think that's going to happen on this one. The knife has some interesting lines on it here and here that run through the whole scale and into the bolster. And when I first saw some pictures of the knife, I thought it was very handsome, but I was worried that these would be too square and it would make the knife feel like I'm holding a screwdriver. And that is not the case at all. It's very, very comfortable to hold. The lines, if anything, they improve the grip and make the knife very easy to hold onto. On the back of the blade, we do have a recessed area so that you can finger flick. I haven't quite figured out the technique for that yet, but now that I'm thinking about it, this might actually be nice left-handed as well. So one more option for opening and closing the knife. I do like that it's asymmetrical. I like that the presentation side is very clean. And then over here we have the lock face side with the logo and everything else. I'm a big fan of the blade shape itself. The drop point is my favorite type of tip on a knife. It's nice and sharp where you want it to be, but then we have a really great cutting edge here for cutting at any angle. Makes it very nice to use the knife. We have a sharpening choil, so no need to go at it with a hacksaw or a Dremel. It already comes with it. There's not a ton of jimping on the knife, but the jimping is where you want it, and that's right here on the back of the blade. It is a nice jimp. It has a nice harsh cut in the blade itself, so my thumb feels really good on it. My fingerprint just fits right down in it, and I don't feel like my thumb's going to slip around. So when I think about grip, this knife is fantastic in the grip department. For actually holding on to it and doing some tough tasks, I feel really good that this knife's going to perform well. Left-handed or right-handed, the knife serves me well. It is better right-handed, of course, because of the clip and because of all the ergos in the lock. But that being said, it is also a nice left-handed knife. So I probably will end up carrying it left-handed, not right-handed. And I'm very glad to see that it's comfortable to hold. The lock mechanism is great. It's very easy to open and close this knife, and it has a really satisfying snap as it opens. Blade Steel's M390. M390 is arguably the best all-around, all-purpose steel that's available right now. It is tough, it has great edge retention, and I really don't have to worry about it staining. So one more positive thing about it. The knife also comes with a pouch. Inside the pouch is a really nice card provided by Joseph that has contact information on one side, and on the other it has the particulars about the knife. You can see that the knife was actually assembled on the 11th of June. This is number 49 of 200. And given the fact that these knives have become collectible already, this is just one more value added that doesn't take a lot of time, but it really looks neat and it's nice to have. Also in the pouch I have a little hanky. The hanky's embossed with the Vero logo, and they got a couple stickers as well. So In the context of the market, this is a $295 knife for what is one of 200, very thoughtfully designed and very purpose-driven in its design. I feel really good about the value that I'm getting for the money. When I compare it to, if I were to compare this to a Chris Reeve knife, I love it 1,000 million times better, given that the knife has such an easy pivot. I like the ease of open. I like the comfort of the grip, and I think that the weight of the knife is also really acceptable. It's 3.5 ounces. I think that when I compare this to, if I compare it to a paramilitary 2, excuse me, Para 3, the knife is actually substantially shorter up and down. In terms of thickness, the Vero is thicker, but we're looking at a knife that is just a little more dialed in, has a little bit more to offer. So on the used market, this is approximately a $250 knife, and this is a $300 knife. If you really like the idea of a semi-custom knife that's designed by a small company and really thoughtfully put together and thoughtfully designed, this is a really excellent value. I think it's hard to get a comparable knife from another company that has all the features that this does and all the benefits that it has. So I'm excited to see the next one. When the Impulse Gen 2 comes out, I'll come back and give you some thoughts about it. One last thing I wanted to show you is that Vero also makes pry bars. This is called the Fulcrum, and I don't know if you can tell or not. There it is. Can you see the name actually in the back of the Fulcrum? This is a special Fulcrum. This one is Cerakoted with a robin's egg blue and a black clip. The Fulcrum is already near and dear to me because it does not have a bottle opener on it. All these pry bars on the market have bottle openers. Not really sure why they all have to have a bottle opener. Most of the time it just gets caught in your pocket. You can't open boxes with the bottle opener part, so that doesn't help. It does have a very clever system with some washers here and the ability to carry some Wiha tips. So if I need to fix something, I can pop out my little T6, put it in the end of my pry bar, and I can tighten down one of the screws of my knife. Isn't that cool? The Fulcrums are available in a wide range of options. They are extremely difficult to get. If you like the idea of one of these Fulcrums, I highly suggest you follow on Instagram, and you're going to need to be ready at any moment because once they're available, they go very quickly. Typically they're titanium in different colors, and then also the clip will be titanium or Timascus, and they're also in different colors. So go to veroengineering.com to check out more, to learn about the features and the options available, and to see the other knives that Joseph has designed. But on first impression, I got to give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's an excellent knife. I'm excited to use it and carry it. I think this is going to be in my pocket for a little bit. I've been a little one note with what I've been carrying, so I'm looking forward to trying out this new knife. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to continue the conversation and talk more about knives, please join us at the Millie PM2 Para 3 Club. You'll find us on Facebook. You'll find us on Instagram. We'd love to have you. Thanks for watching.